The 4 Philanthropy Awards celebrate outstanding Ohio philanthropists, those who have made significant contributions to philanthropy in diversity, equity, and inclusion, as an emerging leader, through innovation, or a lifetime of work. Awardees are nominated by their peers, nonprofit leaders, the public and staff, and the Board of Trustees selects the winners. The Emerging Leader Award recognizes someone, regardless of age, who has engaged in philanthropy for the first time during the last few years and shows amazing potential. They showcase leadership in advancing philanthropy, engagement beyond a single community, creativity in a philanthropic endeavor or project, or significant accomplishment in a short period of time. This year's winner meets all of this criteria and more. The 2020 Emerging Ohio Philanthropist Awardee is Adrienne Mundorf, the Senior Program Director for the Sisters of Charity Foundation of Cleveland, where she provides leadership and oversight for the foundation's grant-making work. Adrienne is currently a trustee of the Health Policy Institute of Ohio, the Church of the Savior Foundation, and an active member of the Philanthropy Ohio Public Policy Committee. She's also co-chair of the Philanthropy Ohio Health Initiative, where she guides development of the initiative's annual work plan, budget, and the content of each meeting. Her support for the work, evidenced through human and financial contributions, is significant, and she is always the first to say, "What else do you need? What can I do?" She demonstrates her commitment and passion to health policy, and particularly health equity and the disparities we see every day, through her work in deep and thoughtful ways. In addition, her work with the Greater Cleveland COVID-19 Rapid Response Fund is a testament to her dedication to collaboration, innovation, and deep impact.
Congratulations, Adrienne Mundorf, for being named this year's Emerging Leaders in Philanthropy.
Adrienne, we're so pleased to be able to present this award to you, and we'd like to invite you to say a few words.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Connie. I want to start by expressing my deepest gratitude to Deborah and the whole board and staff at Philanthropy Ohio. The thought and work you've put into programming over these last 6 months and created a space, whether virtual or not, for philanthropic leaders to show up as their whole selves. I'm humbled for this honor, and I know that that all that I've learned and been a part of during my tenure in philanthropy has come through the leadership of those before me. And I'm so lucky to work in a state and a community with a legacy of strong leaders and innovative disruptors in organized philanthropy. I have so much gratitude for Sue Cray, the president of the Sisters of Charity Foundation of Cleveland, for her steadfast commitment to carrying forward our values of compassion, courage, respect, justice, and collaboration. It's through her leadership that I have learned that philanthropy is not just about strategic grant making and showing impact, but on listening and learning from those around you to inform your work. This combination of strategy, engagement, and collaboration yields more positive outcomes than I've ever seen from grant making alone. And especially in the last 6 months, I've learned so much from Dale England, Program Director at the Cleveland Foundation. She has been so incredibly effective at building a collaborative effort to address COVID-19 in our community through strategic partnership at both a leadership level and in terms of direct response to basic needs. She's next to those on the front lines and ready to roll up her sleeves and do the nitty-gritty work. This is a year that has tested society at every level, across every sector. And I'm so grateful to have a community of leaders to share support, frustration, and new ideas in a time of unprecedented change. While the work is challenging and often taxing, sometimes with 2 little mini coworkers at my side, I'm privileged and proud to work in a sector that has made a positive impact. And I'm inspired by the work we've done as a sector in Cleveland and across the state. We've come together to make decisions together and collaboratively. And in doing so, we are co-creating a community that amplifies the voices of all Ohioans, especially those who have been systemically unheard. Thank you again for this incredible honor. I look forward to continuing our work together.
The Innovation Award recognizes an individual whose approach to problem solving explores new and sometimes disruptive paths in their philanthropic work. Such innovations often include public-private partnerships, leveraging resources, new collaborations, and grant-making strategies. This year's Ohio Philanthropy Innovation Award recipient utilized all of those innovative elements. Dr. Daniel Keenan Jr. is receiving the 2020 Philanthropy Innovation Award for his leadership role in developing and implementing the Collaborative Fund for Educating Remotely and Transforming Schools, a public-private partnership with the Ohio Department of Education and Governor's Office. Throughout his tenure as superintendent of Westlake City Schools and now as executive director of the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation, Dan Keenan has shown remarkable passion and perseverance to improving educational outcomes for all children, regardless of circumstance, and across the state. The COVID-19 pandemic upended the educational landscape, resulting in profound challenges for school districts to deliver effective virtual instruction. The Collaborative Fund for Educating Remotely and Transforming Schools, of which Dan is the primary architect, showcases his forward-thinking approach. The fund aims to ensure equitable learning experiences and eliminate disparities in accessing education so that all students have meaningful, productive learning. Through these and so many other efforts, Dan is shaping new and innovative ways of reaching Ohio's 1.8 million public school students now while students across the state access instruction remotely and into the future.
Congratulations, Dr. Daniel Keenan Jr., for being named this year's Innovation Award winner.
So pleased to present this award to you, Dan, and now we'd like you to say a few words.
Thank you. The Jennings Foundation is grateful for this award, and certainly to Philanthropy Ohio and really reflecting on this whole process this year, working together. I wanted to make sure I noted how important Philanthropy Ohio has been as far as providing guidance and a platform for foundations like Jennings to thrive. And really this particular effort that we entered into this year had so much involvement of so many other foundations, but particularly Philanthropy Ohio with Claudia, Vincent, Adrienne, and Emily have been working on this constantly with us, and just even the chance to connect with other foundations and to learn about what they're doing during these times or consistently in the field of philanthropy. My role with Jennings really started because I was a school superintendent, and to have the opportunity to sit regularly with other foundations and think about ways we can do things more effectively has been such an advantage to our foundation and to me personally. And I owe a lot to Philanthropy Ohio for that. Not only for what you do on a regular basis down in Columbus with the Ed Funders, but you have John Guest and his group up here in Northeast Ohio. So all these connections and keeping us learning and growing together has been a big boost. And I'm appreciative of the 23 foundations and groups that help support this collaborative fund, and I really think this is recognition for all those that came out and supported the collaborative fund. So thank you again. We're greatly appreciative.
This year's Michael G. Shin Award recognizes an organization that has demonstrated a significant contribution to diversity, equity, and inclusion in philanthropy. Nominees have made outstanding contributions to the field by building bridges, championing the acceptance, respect, and inclusion of all, are dedicated to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and promote justice and fairness. Michael G. Shin was the founder of the Shin Family Foundation and served as secretary of the Philanthropy Ohio Board of Trustees until his death in 2015. He chaired our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee and led Philanthropy Ohio's work in this arena. The board created this award in his honor and presented it for the first time in 2015. We are pleased to recognize the Raymond John Wean Foundation as this year's award winner, based on their deep internal journey in community work on diversity, equity, and inclusion. From its initial step of sending 2 staff to REI training in 2016, the journey blossomed into full board participation through sponsored trainings for community stakeholders in racial equity work, awarding grants, and measuring foundation success using a racial equity lens. The Wean Foundation's journey has progressively deepened from awareness to learning to action. In turn, the staff and board have provided a blueprint for others in our field to follow. Their actions have demonstrated a true commitment to advancing racial equity and inclusion, moving one step closer to creating a more equitable society.
Congratulations to the Raymond John Wean Foundation for being named this year's winner of the Michael G. Shin Award for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
And we're so glad to be presenting the award to the foundation, but also Jennifer, to you as its president. And we invite you to say a few words.
Great. Well, thank you, of course. But my first words, on behalf of the Raymond John Wean Foundation, I accept the nomination and the award with such great honor and pleasure. I was thinking about when I had met Michael, and it was at one of the first Philanthropy Ohio conferences that I attended. And we were in this huge ballroom, and we're surrounded by people. And to be honest, not a lot of folks who look like me. And he made his way to my table, said hello, introduced himself, and welcomed me to philanthropy. And so that seemingly simple gesture, I think, speaks volumes about the man that Michael was. And also in this time where we're trying to move beyond othered to inclusion to belonging, it's a grand example of just that.
2020 marks the 18th year for our award for lifetime achievement, the Ohio Philanthropy Award, and this year's nominees were quite exemplary. Nominees for the award should demonstrate three broad areas of achievement: long-standing leadership in advancing philanthropy, creativity in responding to problems, and significant positive impact on philanthropy. This year's awardee, Sam Barone, has demonstrated all of these achievement areas. Sam was hired as the first executive director for the Knox County Foundation in 2002 and grew the foundation from an asset of $21 million to over $80 million. The Community Foundation of Mount Vernon in Knox County, founded in 1944, was managed by First Knox National Bank and governed by a volunteer committee. Today, the foundation gives about $4 million annually in local grants, including more than $1 million in college scholarships. In addition, Sam spearheaded fundraising for the 15-year Ariel Foundation Park project and worked collaboratively in the creation and planning process. Through his guidance and leadership, the foundation is currently in the middle of a 5-year economic development initiative for the county, something they have never done before. Sam officially retired in June, but will continue serving the community as Vice President of the Knox County Hospital Board, as a board member of the Foundation Park Conservancy, and as a committee member overseeing a local arts collection.
Congratulations, Sam Barone, for being named this year's Ohio Philanthropy Award winner.
Connie, thank you very much, and thank you to the entire board of Philanthropy Ohio for this great, unexpected honor.
Well, Sam, we're so pleased to be able to present the award to you, and we'd like you to say a few remarks.
Thank you, Deborah. You know, when I got news of the award just several days ago, I couldn't help think of how my career in philanthropy has really come full circle. First with Ohio Grantmakers Forum at the outset, and now as Philanthropy Ohio, of course. I remember those days 18 years ago, back in 2002, when I came into this new career for me with little but volunteer experience in the nonprofit arena. Certainly some work with fundraising and sales and so forth, but really I had very little notion about the specifics of foundation work. And I know that I was very, very much thankful for the outreach that I received from Ohio Grantmakers Forum and the leaders at the time, and amazed at the amount of resources that the organization had then and has an even greater quantity today for people such as myself at the time who were new to the field. And that importance and that relationship with this great organization has not waned through the years. I can think back on so many episodes in my own career at the Knox County Foundation where help was available in a very timely way, in a very quality way, from the organization. I never felt alone, even for the 14 years that I did this job as a sole practitioner, so to speak, until we expanded our staff 4 years ago. And at that point, when we brought some new people into the organization, once again, Philanthropy Ohio was able to provide timely training and connections with colleagues that made that transition over the last 4 years extremely smooth. And so I have to thank everybody in this great organization, not only for this great honor, but for all the help that you've provided me through the years as Executive Director of the Knox County Foundation. I've told people upon my retirement a few weeks ago that this certainly was the apex of a career that I have had that gave me so many wonderful opportunities. But this was really the apex of my career. And I thank you very much for recognizing me. And in so honoring me, I think you honor so many of the smaller communities in Ohio who have built their own community foundations and found value in community philanthropy, and have certainly found value in the partnership that we've had with Philanthropy Ohio as an organization, and certainly all the colleagues that we have met through that association. So thank you very much. I will treasure this award for the rest of my life.
Congratulations to all of this year's Philanthropy awardees.